What is up? We are doing some more chill time testing time. Remember, these games are being played in the Magic Online practice room, which tends to have less sweaty competition, more experimentation, more brewing. I just want to get a feel for the quote-unquote Tier 1 deck of the format. One of the Tier 1 decks of the format, Terrageddon. This list is straight from the Duress Crew Hardcast podcast. They built it live on the air to take to Rochester with the sole intention of defeating the Dreadnought menace piloted by the T'Challa of Wakanda, Rochester, Wakanda, David Raska. This deck made it all the way to the semifinals, where it was felled by David Raska, who decided to bring lots of dominate and accumulated knowledge to a Pyroblast fight. And let me tell you, you can draw a lot more cards and dominate some Call Her tokens and do a lot of nasty stuff. So yes, I would update this list, but I also have no idea what's going on with this deck besides mid-range things. It's a very Rishadan Port Wasteland dependent deck. We've got the full 4, but we're also just playing all the colors except for black, so we can have our Meddling Mages naming Dreadnought, have our Pyroblast. So yeah, anti-blue list. Missing notables, Phyrexian Furnace, I don't know, Werebear, Nimble Mongoose nonsense. Don't really like those cards that much anyway, so not a big deal. Cute one-ofs, Brushhopper for the Call the Herd Mirror. Sylvan Safekeeper to combo with your Meddling Mage to make... Safekeeper Meddling Mage is like awesome. It's like basically the same thing as Counterspell Meddling Mage or Mother of Runes Meddling Mage, but like kind of on steroids if your opponent has a deck that is depending on a card. Like Phyrexian Dreadnought, for example. Weathered Wayfarer deck, Mox Diamond deck. Look at this. 35 cards. How do we make this feel more like 35 cards with maybe 7 spells? So it's closer to like 28. 9 spells. So it's closer to 26. So you're like only 26 cards that produce mana. These, maybe you just count these for half. So you've got, what is this? You've got 22 total air, and you've got 13 semi-air. So maybe like 28 of the deck is total air. That's what bothers me. You get the synergy between Sylvan Library and Terravore. Your Terravores get Plowshared. You draw more Terravores. And otherwise, you're just, Armageddon people. Get them. My take on this deck, I don't know. Good against bad decks. I think it'll crush in the freeform tournament practice room where people play like a wide range of decks. It feels mid-rangey. It doesn't have a lot of control over its draws. Outside of Sylvan Library, it struggles with value engines like Survival of the Fittest. It can get comboed out, but that's why the Meddling Mages are here. Wastelands, Armageddons. These kind of form a nice little anti-combo squad. It's not like watertight, but get a little damage into play. Maybe it'll stop them before they kind of get out of your lock. Helps to have mana denial against combo. And, the pure combo in this deck, in this format, is Dreadnought and Replenish. So Replenish is well covered by Wasteland and Armageddon. Dreadnought's well covered by Meddling Mage, Swords to Plowshares, 2 Naturalize effects. Whether or not you can cover every single Dreadnought sideboard pivot, you can't. So just vibe with it. You've got 5 blasts. You've got some pressure. Maybe this could be a Mystic Enforcer, or this could be a Mystic Enforcer. These could be Mystic Enforcers. Hard to say. I'd love to play a deck that had no Wastelands and then just was like a green-white deck that made put Mystic Enforcer into play. And then I could just cut Weathered Wayfarer Diamond. But that's a subject for another thing. We're low on red hate here. Got some Hydroblast, Zuran Orb. Got Pyroclasm to try to help our elves and goblins situation. Cataclysm to be our like sort of quasi Wrath of God Armageddon split card. Dangerous card to play. It's weird that the one opponent's like one land hanging around really helps them get back into the game a lot faster, especially because they're already accustomed to holding lands that they don't need. You can punish the attunement players of the world who can never hang on to their lands though, using Armageddon Cataclysm type effects. Rare Revelation is a house, extra Naturalize, Cursed Totem, whatever. It's a good mix. It's a, I like that you got something for everything. This is a mid-range deck. This is like, to me, this is like the Rock. I don't have a hugely high opinion of the Rock, but like, this is better than any black-green mid-range deck that I've seen. So, props to the sickos out there who played this deck to a 60% win rate according to the Dress Crew matchup matrix. Can't argue with that. If you're winning at 60% in the leagues with Black Green Survival, Dreadnought, and Replenish, what's one hot take generator's opinion, stand up to in the face of all that data? So figured I'd give it a spin and see what some of the gameplay is all about. One of my biases is that this deck's really bad against Grotog. This card's never online. This card's rarely online. This card's okay. These are good. This is not that good. In fact, theirs are sort of better than yours, right? Because you don't want to name Swords of Plowshares to stop their stuff, and then they can. I mean, you do want to name Swords of Plowshares if you have Terravore in hand. But if you name Swords of Plowshares and then they play Meddling Mage and they name Terravore, then you're sitting here and your deck is 3/3s and nothing. And so if they just like have a Quirion Dryad in play, you're cooked. So, sometimes you can grind them out. Like if you get enough power into play, Call the Herd, get some good value going. But, I've never lost to this deck when I'm playing Grotog. So that is part of what's colored my experience of like being like, okay, well, I like my Mox Diamond deck that just does a lot of the same things, puts a big creature into play, sometimes casts Armageddon, sometimes casts Meddling Mage, but just kind of does it in a way that I like a lot more. It's interesting. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand why Wastelands are in this deck, but you have Wasteland and you have Armageddon. So it's like you're Wastelanding them and you're Armageddon them, but like you don't have to Wasteland them if you're going to Armageddon them. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to cut them off some early game, like really force them to deploy lands into play to get their thing going. But, I like the interaction between Port and Armageddon. But Wasteland and Armageddon doesn't really have a great interaction. And then also just randomly Wastelanding to put yourself a land down puts you farther away from Armageddon. So I don't know. It's like a minor thing. It's not like it's not the end of the world. You can just tap your Wastelands for mana. They're there for you to do the Wayfarer chain, right? But this is kind of like a one card Armageddon against a lot of the metagame. And it can't be counterspelled, so that's all good. So yeah, but it's like the little things that just kind of make me feel like I wish I could just smooth out what's going on here. I wonder if this deck mulligans well. Most Mox Diamond decks tend not to mulligan well, but we'll see what observations we can make after playing some rounds. All right, we are in the streets versus Danny DeRoy with a hand that hopes that Disenchant has a target. I mean, it's kind of 4 spell, 4 lands. This is half a land. This is half a spell. This isn't always a card. So it's kind of like a 5 card. It's kind of like I mulliganed. Unless, of course, Danny gives me a target for my business. I'm on the Wasteland. Probably playing a mirror. Now my Disenchant is super good. I disenchant this Mox. If I just had man lands. Yes, let's try to get this. I guess we should stick the Disenchant. The blue implies counter magic. I played the wrong land. It's okay. My Furnace is really good. The Cold Heart is in my hand. A Phyrexian Furnace, huh? Let's just mage out the Druids here, because the second one cooks me. Also, there's a counterspell available. But I like having a Meddling Mage on the battlefield. Naming out the Druids against my opponent's out the Druids deck. Plow is definitely a name there. Safekeeper just in time. Well, my opponent's providing 3 lands to Terravore. Be kind of nice to play a creature instead of an enchantment. It's more likely that the creature does something. This Call the Herd's really bad. Just a 3/3 for 3. It gets eaten by Furnace. It's never Safekeeper, and I can't cast the Terravore. And the Brushhopper is actually fine. Like, I'm not going to just try to save the Brushhopper. I think I'll just let it die to a removal spell. I mean, the bigger thing is that Tanny is unlikely to try for the removal spell. Oh, tie it, of course. Oh, fact fiction, right. All right. With the Druids and Wasteland. There's kind of no other way to split this, I think. Takes a bunch of Wastelands. That's interesting. Feels super confident. Oops, I was going to pick up the Gemstone Mine. Now I have to take this line. Which is aggressive, but because I'm going to have 0 lands afterwards. But I mean, I have a Terravore. I mean, the only other line was play Sylvan Library. That's actually the line I had in my head. But Danny elected to not. I mean, that's going to be great news for me. I have a Sylvan Library in my hand, but why didn't he wasteland me? Okay, that's just a mistake, right? I mean, I guess it sounds like he's got something that he wants to cast with his Mox Diamond. He wants to hold up. Wasn't necessarily had to hold up Counterspell. Library resolves. No removal on it. Yeah, there's the Wasteland. I'm trending towards an Armageddon, which... Okay, that's a main deck Cursed Totem. Where are we at? I really don't want to have to plow a Terravore. But you got to do what you got to do. Danny's only card advantage to this point has been Factor Fiction, which isn't that threatening. All right, we just drew all of the cards. Do I have another forest in my deck? Hopefully. No counter spells at all, huh? Looks like his own Terravore. No surprise there. All right, I'll take some more cards. I hope there's a land. Nope. This deck sucks. I should know there's not a land. All right, we're applying this Terravore and getting in. Oh boy, that was annoying. 2 forests and 2 plains. It's okay. Zorb right on time. Treetop animate. Getting in. All right, we're gonna do this the Wastelandy way, and we have 1,000 power go. Another Terravore. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 22, 22. They gain 10 life to go up to exactly 22. Force the Terravore trade. Okay, Terravore trade has been forced. Interesting. Oh, nice. Scoop. And Mox Diamond just doesn't bang, huh? All right, what are we doing? We're just doing... It's like these cards are so bad. Start here. Never this. A couple of these. I'm just going to be sitting here with red mana up for like the entire game. Also have just like so many disenchant effects. That's how it's built. God, what is this hand? I don't want to cast these Mox Diamonds. I should just board them out, huh? It's okay. Never in the business of tossing this. It's at least a little Wasteland proof. It's Oath proof. Rip the Meddling Mage doing Plowshares on turn 1. Why don't we? Do I have any play that I like more than that? Guess I should keep in Wayfarers in case I have a double Mox draw. What do you think about the possibility of counter magic from this spot? Low. These Wastelands don't look good anymore, huh? Oh my lord. Alright, beatdown mode engaged. Looks like Danny's struggling with his mana. Okay. Little uneventful first game. Grindfest. Get the Sylvan Library going. Impossible to keep up with. Actually, almost kept up with it. I would have been put in a Terravore standoff and then looking for the first Swords of Plowshares, and then stuff would have been different. Yikes. This is still a keep. I think this is a mulligan. We don't know what we're playing against, so we're just gonna blind Meddling Mage. This is like a blackjack hand. You like just wish the dealer was showing one non-basic land before you made your decision to double down or stay. Let's just mulligan. Our next hand could contain Weathered Wayfarer and solve all our problems. It doesn't, but at least it's a better hand than what we started with. All right, I need maximum value for my lands here. So I go Treetop Village into pitch, whatever, plus whatever. Okay. It bothers me that, oh man, we're playing against Replenish. What do I even do? Terravore is not that fast. Okay, that helps. Just a mage turn 1 name Swords of Plowshares. And then we can't cast GG. We can wait. Turn 1 mage naming Swords of Plowshares. Turn 2 Brushhopper. Attack for 5 every turn with Port. And hopefully Wasteland. I guess we should have kept the double Wasteland hand. I think that's not the worst because we might draw a Wasteland. We might draw a Wayfarer. We could be playing against blue-white Flippy. There's no not playing the mage, right? Just because it's like using all my mana. It's just like very fast. And then, yeah, I mean, this is the problem, right? So they can just have an Ancient Tomb, which you wouldn't open on Skycloud Expanse unless you had Ancient Tomb. But the upside is that as long as we're slow, like this is attunement and not like intuition, then we can kind of get in there. Oh man, the Wasteland hand would have been bananas though. That's a good Sylvan Library. Do I have time? I need more material in play before I start porting. If I draw a land, I can go library, port. I could go library, search specifically for Wastelands. By that point, it might actually be too late. Oh, I guess I should library because I'm looking for Armageddon. I could have switched to, I guess if I did everything differently, I could have Meddling Mage naming Replenish and then played towards Armageddon win. But the way that's played, it looks like I'm just dead. Normally they don't put the attunement in the graveyard unless they like what they have. Oh my lord. Everything rolled up aces over kings. Moonshotting for rolled up aces over kings. This is not the full package we play on. This is like basically the same thing as just seal cleansing my Mox Diamond. I guess I wish I had Sylvan Library in play. They're almost better off just seal cleansing a wave. No, they want to come off, man. I have 2 cards in hand. No graveyard control on the sideboard. They wanted to put a furnace in over one of these cards. I mean, we probably lose, but not like for sure. Another game with 40-minute timers. Do people have no respect? Oh man, best draw on the deck. Wish I had the Sylvan Library turn 1 instead of what I ended up having. End step. Oh my god. There's no reason to end step an attunement. You want to draw your card. It's a free activation. Pitches the Sabo's Web, which has text against me. I had the port in play. Okay, the full combo has been accomplished. We tried. I don't know how many of these I want. I guess you have to just believe that they won't be able to flip an Exalted Angel. They might Meddling Mage naming Armageddon. But if they do, you have Pyroblast. Weird one. So hard to get your offense going. Interesting. Guess I'm naming Plowshares again. I'm on the play now, so I think we can hope that 5 power plus Wasteland closes it out. My opponent didn't like full-on rolled up aces over Kingsme last game, but they certainly rolled up ace king over pocket deuces. Drew a few more cards off the top after replenishing and then got in there. So they have a Seal of Cleansing to go after anything. Seal of Cleansing into Scoopers. Okay, love to see it. They're hiding their Exalted Angel technology. I know it. We're just going to be cold to that. Our plan is to have them never flip it. If they just go turn 2 Exalted Angel, turn 3 flip, GG, man. GG. Weathered Wayfarer on the draw. Let's go. What dreams are made out of. All right, good luck. Good luck, opponent. You have one turn. Do you have it? Nice little synergistic Cursed Totem there. Going to go ahead and waste the Painless Land, I think. Going for the plow after. Yeah, I would have probably plowed before I drew a free Wasteland. Guess they have plenty of lands. Going into the Intuition turn. Have a Pyroblast available. Okay, Pyroblast. Guess this is going to be one of these slow games. But a really excellent game to fight against everything except for... Well, it's a good game for me to draw Armageddon, right? There's another Wayfarer. Interesting. Do I want to stay on 2 lands? Port them. No, I kind of want to have this Pyroblast available. Snap, pass, huh? Okay, then in that case, I'll port them. I could go for the upkeep Intuition. I mean, I just have Naturalize or Pyroblast for... I have Pyroblast if they have Tide, and then I have Naturalize if they have Opalescence. They just want a basic island. Do I have to keep showing my opponent how this works? That the Wastelands are free? That I don't have to pay for them? I mean, they just Intuition for 3 islands. Like, how can you not? Ancient Tomb from the opponent. Put in an impossible situation here. Although, kind of a interesting spot where like I'd like to be able to hold up Pyroblast. Didn't draw Mox Diamond this game. So hard to draw the Weathered Wayfarer Mox Diamond combo when you are not playing never mind. Why don't you just tell me the card that you want? Oh, magic. Feeling pretty snug here. The Pyroblast available for all 3 drops. Attunement, Intuition. 1 turn of no attunement here isn't the worst. Opponent astutely in a don't let them tax scenario. Now they have just decided that they're over it. Now I get the free shuffle. Never mind, I want all of these. Let's go. Get Wasteland. Wasteland you. Play a Mox Diamond. Try not to be sort. Did I need to do the Windswept Heath? The Windswept Heath was good to keep, right? We're naming Swords to Plowshares, and then we're just gonna deal 3 damage a turn until the end of the game. I should have pitched the Gemstone Mine, obviously, but we're in garbage time. We did the thing. Good job. Opponent just feeding me delicious ancient tombs. I can taste the tomb. Or we can just do this again. Guess we didn't need to name Swords to Plowshares. Well, Armageddon when they have some basic lands in play. Why don't we? Sylvan Safekeeper. And we'll pass. I don't really need you. Basic Forest. But I can play out lands now because I have the Safekeeper. So I can even... Yeah. Nice. All right. Be replenished. Not the worst situation. All right, let's battle it up. Not a bad start. Answers to everything. This is actually just like a god hand, right? So we're playing up against Tron. That should be good for me. All right, so we're going to cast Wayfarer. And what are we going to do? What kind of land do we want against Tron? We're just going to have like ultimate color flexibility maybe. And then go from there. Chromatic Sphere is one of my favorite cards in Premodern, though. Figure more decks should play it. Disenchant targeting Mox Diamond. Wow, where are your manners? All right, let's go get something. Just go for the old Windswept Heath and pass. Skycloud Egg. All right. So porting starting this turn is good. Or I can just play Meddling Mage naming Wrath of God, I guess. Should think of that beforehand. I'm just kind of loosening up here in the practice room. So if we just Mage naming Wrath of God, it's kind of fine. It's the only card that really gets us from this spot. They have a sneaky 5 cards in hand with the 2 eggs in play. So I should be mindful of that. I'll name Wrath of God. And just go on with our lives. So what should I have done? I should have activated the Wayfarer after cracking Windswept Heath. I should have just done whatever. Okay. Just holding the Plowshares. They don't want to Plowshares the Weathered Wayfarer, huh? And they're just going to let me eat. All right. Happy with that then. I'll have an extra Wasteland rolled up and try to hide the information here. Because we'll have the port next turn. Stifle incoming. Drawing cards. All right, Decree for 1 or something. 0. Decree for 0. Good stuff. Probably crack the Skycloud Egg instead of the Chromatic Sphere. Skycloud Egg, or Sphere, I think gives you more flexibility. And Urza's land has made an appearance. All right, I will tell you what I think about that. And the answer is Wasteland. Although Port kind of feels like it has some playability here. I'm going to port that Flooded Strand is what I'm going to do. It's almost Grove time. Port your Flooded Strand. No, I should probably port the Plains. Don't know why priority holds are being sticky. It's like pretty obnoxious. It's like killing me. It's like you just press control at any point in your life, and then Magic Online is like, do you want to hold priority? I don't want to hold priority. Just cast my stuff. Draw. All right, I'll play Terravore. This beats Prohibit. Doesn't beat Miscalculation. I guess I should have played the land first. Oops. Oh, man, I'm going to get a Wrath. Oh, never mind. They wanted the blue. All right. They've seen enough. All right, Tron. Can't imagine you'd like to get cataclysmed. or to have your Stroke of Geniuses red blasted. Don't have a ton of targets for Source of Plowshares besides just Masticore. We really don't have like I mean, could they have Humility? Question mark. I don't know. Let's just keep some Naturalized Disenchant in our deck just for random stuff. Yeah, we'll just like find out what they got going on later. Turn 1 Sylvan Safekeeper. Armageddon with the Lair Land. Little egg to start. What have we got? We got Safekeeper naked. My Kingdom for a Wasteland. Sure. Puts me a little bit behind, but I'm sort of like all about that, right? And it puts a land in my graveyard, and it was Gemstone Mine. It was like the worst land. Can't be mad at that. Uh-oh. Or is it impending? More egg development? No thanks. Another one that I feel like makes a lot of sense to use Skycloud Egg for, but can't be sure, I suppose. Green source? I could disenchant this Skycloud Egg right now to prevent the card draw. Guess that's another reason why you don't want to be in this spot. Another egg. It's an interesting one. I'm going to Terravore this turn, Armageddon next turn. I can't Armageddon next turn unless I draw a Mox Diamond. So I want to not get whatever the card is. Wrath of God. It's kind of the scary one. Oh, they're just going to prohibit that. Okay. Oh, man, I like that. Okay. Better that than my Terravore. Or my Armageddon, for that matter. Wrath of God kind of scary here. Ooh, Mox Diamond. Man, whatever. Phone in what you would do in this spot. I think casting Terravore is okay. I think casting Armageddon is okay. I think there was not really like a huge point here to casting Armageddon, and I'm not going to do nothing. It's like two possible. They're just going to draw cards this turn. This resolves. It's good news. If I get Wrath of God, it's bad news. Second impulse. Two impulses is hard to imagine that they don't find something that they need, but the Safekeeper does do what it promises. Sacred Ground. Well, I guess I shouldn't have shipped the Disenchant. Boo. It's a pretty good draw, though. Maybe I'll find my other random Disenchant. Take some ports as well. And could have also ripped the hilarious Valuegeddon. Just a giant growth my Terravore. Good news is we're getting a Sylvan trigger. Those are hard to come by. Guess we're trying to get closer to the next thing. I'll pay. All right. Wrath of God. Don't mind if I do. And I'll just attack for 3 because attacking for 5 next turn is indeed lethal. Man, it comes to the battlefield untapped. Nasty. All right. Terrageddon good against blue-white control decks, basically. Tron or otherwise. Should come as no surprise that the all non-basic land deck has a problem with Terrageddon. All right, we're in the practice streets. Let's see what MEV is up to. Probably he's up to no good. Start with the Gemstone Mine. We are just going to name, never mind. We'll turn to 3/3. Some Watch Wolf action in your Premodern. It's more common than you think. Trading call for Swords of Plowshares. Basically just the dream. Especially on a no action turn from my opponent. Blessing. Targeting Call the Herd. Got me on that one. So this is indeed Mark's sort of Oath of Druids deck. We'll name Oath of Druids. Always good to have a read. Although if I plow the Ancestors Chosen, it just leaves him with the Shard Phoenix in his deck and then can't go anywhere with that. Although you do want to make sure that the Terravore that you cast is larger than a Shard Phoenix, or else you could run into some trouble. But as it stands, I have 2 Terravores, so alright. Shard Phoenix or Ancestors Chosen? The answer? Ancestors Chosen. Cunning Wish. Accumulated Knowledge. So no gushes going on here. Oh, tight combos. Tight combo spotted. Alright, just blue-green Oath, Splashing Swords to Plowshares with the Oath. Oh, that's pretty sick nasty right there. Okay. Interesting. Oh, stacked his stuff wrong. Wasteland to let me do it myself. Doesn't. Oath. Rack? Has rack. Interesting. Weathered Wayfarer. Play Wayfarer. Don't really want to plow the Chosen and get it countered. 1, 2, 3. So we're just going to relax. Terravore has been plowed. Fetching without using Scroll Rack. So it's definitely holding Counterspell. Pretty interesting. His deck also doesn't have Mox Diamond, it looks like. Does have Mox Diamond. So with sufficient card draw, Mark can just Plowshares all my threats and I'll be cooked. So I do have to kind of get a move on, but I think that AK for 4 is just a winning play, pretty much. Couldn't really fight that. Sort of a weird Oath the Druid's AK interaction, commonly thought to be not good. Here, you get AK for 4. Plays totally fine. Oh, I should have realized that. All right, let's just move on. Got Naturalize. We have Ray of Revelation. We have some blasts. I showed a lot of targets. AKs, Gushes, Portent, Accumulated Knowledge. Oh, there is Gush. So sorry, I lied. Cunning Wish. All seems fine. Used to protect Armageddon. Play Fewer Swords of Plowshares. Sylvan Library is good. Call Herd ostensibly good. Terravore, not like the most exciting thing. Doesn't play a lot of non-basics. Got a couple of Wastelands. Try to go to war with a little bit less this stuff so that I don't flood out on them. Sure. Well, let's just cut Wastelands entirely. It didn't reveal any non-basics. All right. Battle time. Sure. Play Plains. Think I'll pass. I feel like I couldn't board out enough stuff. Sylvan's good. Cast Sylvan. Has the Ray of Revelation. Nasty. Right on time, too. Blesses the Portent. Portents. Let's go ahead and grab... Still just grab Port here. Did I? Oh, yeah, there's still no Phyrexian Furnace in the deck. Right. Just have to add it, I think. So just throw this Sylvan Library straight into the dumpster against this Ray Revelation, or I could just not. Could wait till I could like intentionally trigger Oath and then who knows? There's the Plowshares. All right. Strap in for a long one. Uses Chain of Vapor as the main thing. Treetop Village. Don't mind if I do. AK for 1. Cantripping. I'm just sitting here with 1,000 disenchants and I'm chilling. Would not be surprised to see a Sabo's Web make an appearance from the all basic land deck. Blesses some Portents back in. Pretty fun little 3 damage here from Treetop Village. Protected from any Swords of Plowshares nonsense. Wish I could do the same for my Sylvan Library, but alas, that's rude. This is enough for a tied combo. No tide combo. Should I put an elephant into play? Don't think so. Scroll rack. Should I disenchant the scroll rack? Yeah, maybe. Probably has a counter throw at this. Racks for... Doesn't tell you the amount they rack for. Portent for the like 10th time in this game. I assume a little Portent shuffle makes sense here. Play Gemstone Mine. Plow the unknown card here. Pyroblast, targeting counterspell. Thwart. I've been thwarted. How rude. Okay. Guess I lose. Wouldn't lose if I had Mystic Enforcer, though. Instead, I would be drawing. This Windswept Heath has nothing to get. Play a Meddling Mage. Guess I'll name Counterspell. I don't know. Can't name Plow. Can't name Revelation. Shouldn't name Weathered Druids. Scroll Rack doesn't really bother me. I assume that Tide is not going to be a thing. So, yeah. Counterspell it is. I'll play Sylvan. Does have a second Plains. Does have an Exalted Angel. Does have Flashback, Rare Revelation. Port you off, green, or whatever. Right, at least we're attacking for a Blessing, Plow, Gush. Angel in blocking mode. I guess we gotta keep playing Magic. Tap the color of cantripping. At some point, my Meddling Mage can just name Plowshares, and then I can attack for 9 around potential threats. Guess he's drawing towards second Angel. Definitely want Phyrexian Furnace in this deck, but it's like, how often are you gonna draw it? You're never gonna draw it. It's really annoying. Not the worst top deck here. Think we wait for a little bit more gas against the 6 cards in hand, although the amount of cards is slowly increasing over time. Can always blessing away his own lands too. I'm only contributing 3 to the Terravore count. All right. Meddling Mage. It's the best I've got. I'm also just tired of playing this game. I think most situations, this opposing deck is just going to be the winning situation. Factor Fiction is fine. What have we got? We got a Null, we got Sabos, we got another Factor Fiction, a Mox. Put the Fact away from the Diamond and the Scroll Rack. So you get Fact and an Annul or a bunch of artifacts. Forgot that Mage was naming Counterspell, making things like a little easier. So there's like just Thorn available. Takes the random artifacts. I will name S words to Plowshares, assuming that is the only thing that could possibly be a thing. Green, green, 1. 6/6 Terravore. You may go, and then I'm going to attack. So if you block, still takes 10 damage through some random removal spell, like a Chain of Vapor or whatever. Scholarson McRackersons. This is like a good testing session for his deck. My deck is never going to run into his deck, but his deck is going to run into my deck, if that makes sense. Like, so he can figure out what he needs to do to play against his strategy like this. I assume that you just, I don't know, you just have Dominate or something. But my personal suggestion would be to have Constant Mists. Mark processing his outs. Still doesn't say the number of cards. Does have an island. Shard Phoenix. Yeah. That's the thing. Morph. Shard Phoenix Morph combo. Gain 4. Lots of heads up plays happening right now. All right, well, we persevere. I don't know, man. I'm just attacking. You figure it out is what I have to say to that. Gets the block in, takes 10. Could I have made it 13 with anything? Probably not. All right. And then S words to Plowshares will be the name. Not that even that would save him, right? Because no, it would, because he'd go up to, yeah, so I would need to have done one extra damage. I could have also named Sabo's Web, but just assume that after drawing all these cards, casting some big AK or whatever, he's gonna have some S words to Plowshares. Angel, Shard Phoenix, huh? All right, not mad about how I sideboarded for the most part. Because I have too many Ray of Revelations? Not really. Not really. Weathered Wayfarer, would have that been, was that any good? I mean, Sabo's Web just kind of nutty. But Wayfarers are like lands. And I like don't really want to actively have a bunch of Wasteland in my deck if they don't have targets they don't tap for mana. So the only thing they can do is like buff my own Terravores. Resubmit. There have been times when you think about Cursed Totem just to turn off Shard Phoenix. I mean, I'm not in the business of not keeping hands. Interesting. Little Windswept Heath, enabling a turn to Meddling Mage. Might have to take it. Well, that's tasty. All right. So what am I concerned about? S words to Plowshares. Not Oath of Druids. Random Counterspell. Engine cards. S words to Plowshares because we are playing a beatdown strategy. Because I have the Terravore and the Armageddon. Might have to ship the Armageddon. No, don't have to. Didn't see any tides that last game. Kind of an interesting thing to observe. Play this. And yeah, I am actually just going to intentionally move this thing closer to getting pooped. Nothing to see here, just Meddling Mage attacking. Oh, I guess I didn't have to poop it because I have my Armageddon. Fact or Fiction. Can I have a couple tides? Or can I have whatever this is? Dang. I didn't get to fully poop. All right, whatever. Terravore is a 3/3, so pretty sure you can't win casting Tide, taking 5 damage. Yeah, has to go for the Blessing. Can bless my lands, but that takes mana at sorcery speed, leaving up the potential for Armageddon to get in there. Goes for the Scroll Rack instead. He's looking for answers fast. He's going to hold up Counterspell maybe. Portent. Could have the Thwart. I could just try to... Well, if he thwarts, he puts himself so far behind. Oh, the Gush is very aggressive there. Mox. I guess I should have boarded out. Well, no, it's actually fine. So now there's no Thwart available, so it's just Counterspell. Morph. Okay. So we will go with Armageddon. And Armageddon get in for 11 is my favorite rhyme in the game. All right. That's kind of fun. That ended up being fun. Just put Terravore into play. Like sitting there, they just have one counterspell for Terravore. What kind of game is this? One counterspell for, you know, whatever. Able to stop Meddling Mage. I mean, that's the weakness of his deck, right? It can't stop Meddling Mage. So I needed 3 cards to win, which is good because I never have any cards. So having 3 cards to win is important. I've built some similar attempts at Engine, Oath decks. You got Oath, you got Tide. You can kind of solve any problem you think until you start playing and the problems persist. And, well, that's showbiz. That's magic, baby. All right. Spicy meatball here. Again, hoping Naturalize finds a target. We are streaking though, so we like that. Open on plains. Opt. Dreadnought in the freeform practice room? Could it be? Not a lot of decks cast Opt on turn 1 with 2 basic islands besides Dreadnought and Grotok. Can't waste Meddling Mage value here in the case that it is something other than those 2 decks. And if they cast Dreadnought, I can Meddling Mage, I can name Counterspell, I can name Vision Charm, I can name Foil. Try to get my Naturalize to stick. Just kind of working under the assumption that they don't have it, and then giving myself time to assess what's going on. But the impulse pretty much locks in. Impulse and other basic land pretty much locks in that they're playing the naughty knot. And what's our situation here? I mean, we're going to draw a card with this at some point, so let's just do it now. And put a 1/1 into play. Opt. Impulse. I think I should have put the Mox in my hand and let the Terravore sit on top of my library. Gush plus send. Yeah, guess I should have shipped the Meddling Mage on turn 2, huh? It's the Vision Charm. Okay. Yeah, that's why I should have put the whatever on top. Okay, white, blue. Play Meddling Mage. All right, so I don't want to name Vision Charm, so I probably just name Counterspell here because Vision Charm is actually okay. It'll give me a chance to play the second Meddling Mage, name Foil or something, and be fine. So name Counterspell. I mean, I guess the only thing is like this indicates that they didn't have Counterspell. The fact that they chose not to counter the Meddling Mage. So I guess I'll just name Foil, and if it's Counterspell, then I get to go Meddling Mage next turn. Naming Counterspell. So I'll name Foil. I have effects on your upkeep. Another impulse, 3 impulses in. Go for the Naturalize. Day Stifle obviously gets me here, but I don't really want to crack this Windswept Heath and shuffle away the Meddling Mage that I was pretty happy to have. And I can beat Counterspell. Not like comfortably. I'm going to go for the Vision Charm. Portent targeting self. Wouldn't portent self there. I would shuffle the Meddling Mage. No, they don't know that I have Meddling Mage on top of my deck. And the Meddling Mage on top of my deck might not even finish the job. So let's see what I draw. All right. At least I can shuffle these away and get some fresh looks. So white plus blue is Meddling Mage. This time I'll name Counterspell. And I will fetch. Shuffle away the nonsense. Attack for 4. Contemplate just shipping a Terravore. I think that might be incorrect. Oh, shoot. Well. Guess we're plowing now. I was looking at Twitter. Boo. Is it Stifle this time? 2 Vision Charms in the bin. 3rd Vision Charm. Guess I wasn't naming the right cards. All right, and they're at 27. So we have to put a lot of power on the table. Oh, their sequencing is interesting. Do they play a land? Yeah. I don't know. Every damage counts, right? I don't know. Guess I have to add it up. Attack for, so play this. Attack for 6 versus 7. So if they're 21, and then this is like a 3/3, so it's like 10, 10 damage. That's 6 plus 10. Nope. Need more interaction. Not going to come down to a race. Oh, but I could block? No. Also no. Okay. So, yeah, we just try to resolve the Armageddon through... I mean, Counterspell and Foil are named, right? So the Armageddon's like certainly going to resolve, and then we get there. That's kind of a cool, cool match situation. Is there anything that beats me getting right now? I need 2 Terravores, right? Pretty sure. It's actually not enough, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So plus 6 to the Terravore next turn is I'll find out when I get there because it'll be enough for my Terravores to just block if I have to, but I think it's fine. I think the damage actually did matter. Like if I did 1 more damage this turn and they were at 20, then my Terravores would be like more. Yeah, I have another impulse. I mean, if they have a gush, then we have a problem. Yeah, I'm gonna add 7 to the Terravores, so they're gonna be 9/9s, and then I'll have 22 damage, so it'll actually be fine. So I'm going to be even crazier here and draw Wasteland, cast Armageddon. Oh, do I have to play around days? No. Should I play around double days? So basically I'm like, I should play around Chain of Vapor, because what they can do is they can float blue, then Chain of Vapor on the Terravores, and I won't be able to chain it back. But if I hold the Wasteland, I'll be able to beat the Chain of Vapor, but this line doesn't beat double days. So let's just hope it's not double days, because I think there's like 3 dazes, there's 2 Chain of Vapors. Looks like Terravore's hanging back to block. Yep. This is a whole 18 damage. Wait, no, it's actually 20 damage. I needed to put the Gemstone Mine in the bin last turn. Oh boy. All right, can I just leave back 12 Exaxes? 10? I'm at a kind of an awkward life total here. That gush was kind of annoying, huh? So we just have 2 Terravores for a while. So I could like throw all these guys in front of the Dreadnought if I attack with this, bring it down to 14. So I'll do this. Wasteland the own Wasteland, throw everybody in front of the Dreadnought. Everybody dies, but it does mean the Dreadnought can't attack. But a Chain of Vapor that I was playing around earlier, I shouldn't just stop playing around it for no reason. Yeah, so slight misplay. Should have put the... I was like, oh, I'll never need that 1 damage. This isn't going to matter. But I don't know. I'm up against a Dreadnought player with no counter magic. I can't be too mad about that. Eventually, we'll get a Weathered Wayfarer. We'll put 12 lands into the graveyard or something. So you get in for 11. They can't discard islands. They discard foil, of course. Huh. Should I Windswept Heath? Or Port? Port and Windswept Heath do very similar things from this spot. This Port will actually extend the amount of turns there are. And then Port plus Windswept Heath means I can get my Terravore to 11 because I can Wasteland my Port and have the Heath. So that's good. So my Terravores are at a virtual 10, barring Stifle shenanigans. Okay. We did it, Joe. Should do it on their upkeep, though. Well, no, because if they have Vision Charm, they die? Okay. Yeah. They can have Chain of Vapor, but that won't be enough. They can go Chain of Vapor won't be enough. Nice. We won game 1 against the big bad Not. All right. Have a taste of these. Have a taste. These don't do anything. And these... Okay, so... what's kind of interesting is that Terravores are really small against Dreadnought if they're sort of playing in a way that like makes sense. I'm going to board out 2 Wastelands. I'm board out 1 Terravore, 1 Weathered Wayfarer. Bring in the Zuran Orb. Tempo Zuran Orb. And Zuran Orb Wayfarer combo. Deck thinning, life gain could end up mattering. Could Armageddon end up mattering? Sometimes Armageddon is like a plausible card. But the thing about Weathered Wayfarer is that it attacks for 1. But we'll just do this. This is fine. Anything else super bad here? No, right? Anything else super good here? No, right? All right. Keep. Go with Battlefield Forge into Weathered Wayfarer because we don't have blue mana. Turn 2 Dreadnought. All right, see you next game. They force checked me. I mean, I had turn 3 Dreadnought beat. All right, let's go get a blue source still, right? Wish I had a painless blue source. I do, in the form of Gemstone Mine. Go ahead and take it. And that'll be the one that I play, I think. Yeah. All right. All right, Mr. Turn 2, Dreadnought on the play. What have you got? 12 damage is what you got. Bold move, but see if it works out for you. See if that one gets in. Have you ever tried this one? Or should I get Core Haven here? A card that's not on my deck. Of course, Core Haven would not work. I need the Mox Diamond. Making them think I have something is kind of fun, so I'll do it. All right, I didn't have anything. You caught me. I only have 9 plus 12 plus 3. 9 plus 3. Okay, got you this time. Got you this time, Mr. Dreadnought. Try turn 1 Meddling Mage naming Phyrexian Dreadnought. Just try it. Okay. Now we just have to beat the powder keg. That's how you do it. It's one of the only times we're going to see Dreadnought lose a match in like weeks in this channel. Obviously, I lost the mirror and I lost to T-Gets. So twice we see Dreadnought lose to T-Gets. So yeah, it's an interesting situation where I have this Meddling Mage is naming Phyrexian Dreadnought, and now they're going to be playing this like powder keg game, which because they know about the Meddling Mage. So interestingly, you can kind of like, maybe my opponent last game shipped the turn 2 shippers, thinking that I wouldn't have, like, thinking I kept a loose one, and I did keep a loose one. But now they know I didn't keep a loose one, so they can like get maximum value before it's time. Opponent cantripping. They've looked at 10 cards. 10 cards so far for that tasty powder keg, which will get naturalized with blast backup. Does it make sense to take a turn off to cast Brushhopper? So I can attack for 5/5/5 or attack for 2/8/8. I think it's fine, because going wider means that if they do find the ability to Dreadnought, they will be facing wider pressure, and then it's a good thing. And of course, counterspell is like always going to be good there to take one out of their hand. They had 7 cards in hand, they're whatever, but stop them from casting Impulse, whatever, and then this is still like approximately 3 turn clock. Also play Zuran Orb here. Although, ironically, if this was Weathered Wayfarer, it'd be kind of relevant. I think we did it. Opponent has looked at 16 extra cards now. Plus it's their turn 5 on the draw. So they've gone 21 cards deep, plus their opening 7. So nasty stuff. Port's nice. Port is nice. I mean, if I get through to damage here, what can they do? There are one. Dominate would have been good, I guess. I guess I could have waited for the end step port, but I also don't know if it matters. But I think we should get there here. Gush Gush. All right. Show me what you got. We've defeated the Freeform Practice Room Dreadnought deck with 4C Dress Crew Anti-Dreadnought Terrageddon. 2 games to 1. That's why we're here, baby. That is why we're here. So if you're even thinking about sleeving up Dreadnought for LobsterCon, watch out, because Dress Crew Terrageddon is coming for you. All right, we're gonna battle Chicken Sauce. Chicken Sauce for the test match number 6. Yeah, it's fine. City Brass Nimble Mongoose. Opponent out here battling with my own tech. This is some trade wind survival looking nonsense. And I think it is good to try to stop them from getting 1 survival activation. Nope, it is black deck. This is actually just the rock. I'm playing against just the rock. All right, my hand's pretty decent against just the rock. Never mind. This is Sutured Ghoul combo. I really need that Phyrexian Furnace situation going on here. Really need that. Need that now. I have nothing against this. No options here. So we're just gonna try to put maximum toughness on the battlefield before this gets reanimated. Guess I should have played the play-ins. Oops. So yeah, I expect this to be like a survival situation. I guess I did stop the turn 2 Buried Alive. Feels like it could be like a survivalish deck. I'm gonna go with that instinct here and hope it pans out. Cursed Totem, kind of a tricky one, but I'll ship it. Oh, I guess I could have held mana up, and I should have held up. Yeah, I don't know. Meddling Mage is actually okay. Meddling Mage, Sylvan. So many Naturalizes and Disenchants. I mean, if it's a survival deck, I do want like a solid amount. I'm also thinking about this Cursed Totem. I don't know. Birds of Paradise, Wall of Blossoms just feels like I shouldn't bother Armageddon. It's like I can do this combo, or I can just like focus on the task at hand. If they're leaning on the combo, then I should just be able to punch through with my power, right? I think that's fine. Like, I'm not in love with it, but I think it's fine. Just need that Phyrexian Furnace action in my deck somewhere would be nice. All right, this is an interesting one, but it has Plowshares, so we take it. Plowshares and kind of a janky turn 2 Call the Herd into not turn 2 Call the Herd, or not turn 3 Call the Herd. Ritual, sure. Double Ritual? Buried Alive. Okay, hope I draw a natural land next turn. I did not. All right, gonna go ahead and Plowshares this, and then I have to deal 46 damage. Port versus Source. Don't love Source. Don't need Source. Source is not necessary. Brushy boy. My son. Get in there. Get in there, Mr. Frog. You have one job. That's to frog it up nice. We have the tasty Ray of Revelation onto Survival of the Fittest here. We have the nice port onto Adarkar Wastes. So I guess if I had Armageddon in this situation, that'd be pretty good. It's kind of a tricky one. I have to like stop the combo or Armageddon before the combo. I can still like Dark Ritual out of it or draw, like hold back 2 lands. Cobalt Therapy, you're welcome. What are you even naming here? Should have thought about that sooner. Soon I will have 6 or so toughness. Weathered Wayfarer, you don't think I would have cast a Wayfarer by now? I guess I've spent my mana every turn. Oh, I should have, no, if they therapy the Terravore, it's fine. Sure. Terravore's not that big right now. Until I have Wasteland. Okay, so I should play Terravore now. A 1/1 for your troubles. And get it. Pour them up. Alright. Now I feel good about my decision to not have Armageddon. As good as it would be in this spot. It's unnecessary, right? I just have enough mana denial. Ritual Morph. Did my opponent just rip a Crozen Cloud Scraper like straight up? Yeah, so now they can't Tin Fins me anymore. They can't do the combo on me anymore. Because they have 3 exiled Mr. Geyersons. And I have the Ray of Revelation ready for the next Survival of the Fittest. So I think this is a lock, yeah. Even though we're at their 33 life. Lowler. Okay, well, we were right about the survival thing. I think I saw it kicking around Discord. So is Safekeeper going to do anything? Maybe, maybe not. Safekeeper Wayfarer. Cursed Totem Naturalize. I'm on the draw. Wayfarer is better. Don't think Safekeeper is ever super relevant. Besides being able to sacrifice all my stuff. Cursed Totem to try to mana screw them is like too silly, right? I just saw Birds of Paradise. It's not like they have Birds of Paradise Wall of Roots guaranteed. Although a deck like this wants to have lots of Wall of Roots, but yeah, all right. Let's go with Forest Gemstone Mine. I will Wasteland that. Even though pretty happy to have that just sit around for me to port. I will Wasteland that. Okay. Magic Online working through some lag. Could consider restarting. Looks like their clock is running. Into the Sylvan. Ritual. Buried Alive. Alright. I need Cabal Therapy. I could also just play Terravore. Play the Windswept Heath, pass the turn. Man. Hate fetching here because I don't want to go to 19. Forcing me to put 8 toughness into play, but you gotta do it. And that is why. Alright. We're close. We're close. Okay. We're close. Terravore gets in. This is the last turn, so if they have Cabal Therapy Shallow, then they got me. Or Unmasked Shallow. Otherwise, Terravore is going to be on blocking duty for 15 turns. Until I find a second one. They go for the Shallow. Bold choice. Will it pay off? Sabos. That doesn't matter. I mean, it matters a little. Doesn't matter a lot. Top this. Top this. Just play Call the Herd. And attack for 1. Oh, I shouldn't have attacked, right? I should just have the activation available. But now I've got 9 toughness, which is great. All right, opponent got tired of waiting. They're like, I'm going to attack for 26. As like a way to stop me from having a clock. But they can see that I like respect it. But maybe they thought that was a tell that I didn't have Plowshares, but I have Plowshares. And I intend to use it. Anyways, here's an elephant. Here's an attack for a tasty, tasty 12. So actually, the correct thing to do is get my Terravore to 8, hold up Plowshares. If they therapy me, I Plowshares my own Terravore. That's what I should have done. So I'm completely immune to discard on the combo turn, so I can keep attacking as long as my Terravore is at the above the Sutured Ghoul zone. Mistake from an opponent letting me Wayfarer here. I'm pretty excited to shuffle my Sylvan Library. My opponent could play Doomed Necromancer in their survival Sutured Ghoul deck. Why don't they just play Doomed Necromancer in Anger in addition to everything else? I don't know. I have no idea. That doesn't really make any sense. What? 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 Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with the rolled up aces over kings? Tell me they have one in hand. Tell me they have one in hand. They legit just shallow grave bone shredded me because the Sutured Ghoul is just in their hand, huh? Wow. Now I have to, now it just like doesn't matter. Okay, well, it's time to Sylvan Library into the next thing. All right, I'm just gonna go top, and thankfully the Terravore puts me out of the range again. Grab the Treva's Ruins, I guess. Pick this up. Cast Terravore. Okay, so do I want to attack for 6 or 3? I attack for 3 for the rest of the game? Yes, maybe. This thing's going to be a 26-26. So I need both to cover it if I think they're going to go Cabal Therapy, Self-Sutured Ghoul. Yeah, let's go ahead and find the Plowshares so that we can sort of safely be in the right place. Like, I don't have to expose myself to losing the game if my opponent's deck doesn't have a good plan B. Like, if their plan is to put Sutured Ghoul with 26 power on the battlefield, I am totally happy to have 11 toughness on the battlefield and attack for 4 until this game is over. Like, it is simply okay for this to be the case. The Bone Shredder, though, did mean that I want to the Sylvan Safekeeper had text, and I don't know if at any point I was like interested in disenchanting this Sabo's Web. It doesn't really feel like that was like ever a thing. Like, I can get Port's pretty relevant, stops them from having too much mana on the turn that they go for it, but having time to cast the Disenchant is like the bigger issue. 11 plus 7. I have lethal on the table. Oh, I have Frog. I have Frog to put Terravore into kill you range, actually. Tabby blow up Mox. All right, so this is going to be a 10-11. So 11 chump blocked. 11 plus 7 is enough. Okay. Oh, I guess I should have they could have gone Swamp Ritual. Ship it, huh? Oop. Zuran Orb makes it simple. Top 10. Oh, wait, that doesn't, oh yeah, it's fine. I just get Wasteland. Wasteland. Don't mind me here. Just making a giant Terravore so that my opponent is dead. Cool game. Cabal Therapy, pretty excellent in their deck. But yeah, pretty interesting thing. Okay, so they were, yeah, I was correct. I was correct in how I was doing it. Yeah, proud of playing around it that time. I wonder if they should have just waited to have the full setup like all at once, like kind of surprised from nowhere, because the Buried Alive Shallow Grave My Bone Shredder was like, I don't know. Seems like they could have done it in like a more opportune situation. I don't know the exact situation though. All right. That was good enough testing for me. Fun deck. Annoying at times. Kind of just plays whatever cards it has in its hand. You have to count your mana all the time. All the time you're just like counting your mana, counting your opponent's mana. So much like brain power for so little reward, it feels. Just kidding. It's nice when your opponent is playing non-basic lands in their deck. I actually like the flexibility of being able to just take out Wasteland. Don't need Wasteland in the non-Wasteland matchups. Board in whatever good stuff. We defeated Dreadnought. Took 3 games, but we did it. Sideboard served us pretty good. I'm a huge non-lover of Naturalize Disenchant in the main deck, just because you like are dying so much to like draw good stuff, and you never know if it's good. But it's pre-modern. Your Grotog opponent has 3 Mox Diamonds. Your Dreadnoughts and Replenish. You always have targets. You might catch a Survival of the Fittest, pretty important card to fight, etc., etc. Every time I drew Ray of Revelation, it felt like a warm hug. Loved that. Yeah, we beat like a good spread of competitive decks. We beat Replenish. We beat Dreadnought. We beat the 2 top decks of the format. So, that's pretty good. Obviously, once matchups we should have won. Like we beat decks that weren't like tier decks. Solid stuff. I think it's a frustrating deck to like really like dig into and like try to figure out how to like tweak the numbers, because unlike decks that see a lot of cards, like I just love working with Grotog because I'll add 2 random cards or 1 random card to Grotog, and instantly like the amount that I see the card, I'll feel immediate feedback from what I've changed. This deck I fear would not be the same, but we drew Sylvan Safekeeper often, one of tech card. We drew Anurid Brushhopper. Didn't really make a difference if it was Brushhopper or Fourth Call in any of the matches that we played for the most part. So not going to put too much weight into that. But yeah, this Cursed Totem, I'd rather have Phyrexian Furnace. I would love to accidentally draw Phyrexian Furnace against like most of the decks that we played against. And do we have too many blasts? Yeah, why don't we play a mix of blasts and other stuff? The blasts are really good, but I don't know. It's like you don't have the thing is, if you draw 2, you don't always have access to 2 red mana between all your sources. Like you can navigate around it. You're like, I got 2 Pyroblasts in hand. I'm gonna do everything to hold up 2 red mana. But yeah, I would like to see some maybe green or white spells here. Try not to deepen the splash, right? We're splashing as light as we possibly can. But if you sideboard into a deck with just like 5 extra red spells, then all of a sudden, like, your main deck, you have to stretch further. You can get away with it. This mana base has been mathed out pretty hard. We got 11 reds. We got some pseudo reds. Kind of get there. But I'd hate to open up my hand, get force checked like I did in game 2 against Dreadnought, and then not have the red source for for my blast in case they just like went for it super early. And this was the interaction I had, you know, instead of Swords of Plowshares or Naturalize. Just because it doesn't feel like I have like 11 answers to Dreadnought if 5 of them are dependent on me also drawing you know, one of these 11 cards, and then Rith's Grove, if I'm on the draw, I can't even play turn 1 to hold up the Pyroblast. So but the good news is, if Dreadnought is in a position where they have to jam the turn 1 combo, turn 2 combo, that's great news for you. You know, the exact opposite can happen, and you can have the turn 1 Meddling Mage, and then, you know, you're off to the races. So, you know, I don't know if my respect for this deck has changed from this testing. There's a lot that I like about it. I think that Armageddon is always going to like hold down these like wimpy decks, and excellent tool against Replenish. But it's like so polarizing. Your opponent's decks have Gushes, Mox Diamonds. 4 mana is like not guaranteed. You've got plenty to do with your mana besides cast Armageddon. You're just like waiting to cast Armageddon. You're like, first I need to cast Terravore, then I need Terravore to 6. You're like grinding and grinding and grinding. And so you got this piece of material just sitting in your hand. And if your opponent's like keeping up with you, then you can't shut the door. And like, I don't know, if you've got power in play, like just resolving and sticking a creature is almost enough. Like Armageddon really is just like kind of like a safety valve for if your opponent, well, it's like 2 things. One is like the 1-2 combo, obviously cast Terravore, cast Armageddon. That's going to be pretty relevant against goblins, right? Cast Terravore, it's a 4/4, goblins can't kills it. Then you Armageddon, and then there's like no whatever. Yeah, it's interesting because I'm always have this like nagging suspicion, like, oh, do we have to have? Like, does this deck have to look like this? It kind of, you know, there was nothing inherently clunky about it except for the fact that like every time I open my hands, it's like 3 lands, a Mox Diamond, and some like 3 drops. So that's 4 cards plus 3. And then I kind of want to draw like maybe 2 more lands this game. So I have like 3 non-mana source cards and like 7 mana source cards that I want to draw. Again, Treetop Village showing that it gets the beat down on and kind of helps solve this problem a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of like, okay, like it's really hard to have a mix of threats and interaction if your hand contains Mox Diamond, 4 lands, you know, like Mox Diamond 4 lands, Mox Diamond 3 lands. Yeah, like I was lucky I had those hands where I'm like, oh, I've got Call the Herd and Anurid Brushhopper, so I can go turn 2 Call the Herd with through Mox Diamond, turn 3 Anurid Brushhopper, maybe hold up Plowshares. That's like the dream, but that's like everything I got. So if my opponent can do something that's indifferent to Brushhopper because they're faster or they're bigger, or indifferent to Swords of Plowshares because they go wide, like whatever, then I'm stuck here and I'm in top deck mode immediately. So that's like kind of the thing that kills me. And you know, then you mulligan and you like still have Mox Diamonds in those hands. It's nice you can bottom the Mox Diamond if you mulligan and keep it on top to steal the play if you or be on the super play if you don't mulligan. Those are good things. And yeah, it is a virtual card advantage deck, and you kind of have to like come to terms with like that's where you're getting all your value by being like having your cards be as chunky as possible. And you know, when I look at these cards, the way that they're used, the way that they can come into play, and the kind of like way they interact with each other. Sure, there's not a ton of synergy in this deck, but I mean, that's mid-range. Like, I think at the end of the day, like the you have to sort of change. You can't think about mid-range the same way that you think about other more linearized strategies. We have threats, we have tools, we're going to draw them, we're going to use them. They're as flexible as we can. We're looking to extract maximum value from every single interaction. And at the end of the day, we're probably just going to attack for 3 and get in. And then we've just got a little sliver. This is like Deranged Hermit out of the rock, right? Just like a little way to just like fireball somebody. But the rest of the time, we're just plinking around. Phyrexian Furnace is like 11 tickets on Magic Online right now. I think I have this one Miser's copy from whatever when they were like 1 ticket. I should have bought 4, obviously, so I could sell them for 40 tickets right now. But I'm definitely going to sell this one, I think, because I use a rental service. But get your Phyrexian Furnaces. I think Furnace definitely should have been this deck. 2 even. Or like a Tormod's Crypt. How much easier would it have been against that Tinfin's deck if I just had Tormod's Crypt? But I just like didn't need it, you know? So many of the graveyard decks you just need to hold up Swords of Plowshares. But I think a little Phyrexian Furnace might go a long way into helping a little bit with your like survival issue. So the question is Phyrexian Furnace better than Cursed Totem against survival decks? I'm not sure, but the fact that you have this against AK, Flash of Insight, Call the Herd decks is like kind of relevant. And then sickos out there are casting Mystic Enforcer, so maybe keeping those kinds of people off Threshold is not the worst plan. But yeah, that's Terrageddon. I used to say that Terrageddon was like I probably going into this video I was like Terrageddon is probably like a B- deck. I'm gonna upgrade that to a B, and with good attendance a B+. So yeah, 60% deck, definitely tier 1 to all the haters, including me. It doesn't feel like a tier 1 deck, but performs like one. And at the end of the day, all that matters is if you have a big number in the W column and a small number in the L column. So yeah, that's Terrageddon for you.